Welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this tutorial we're going to talk about how to identify duplicate records in a table, and once we have identified those records we need to remove those duplicate records from a table from the database permanently. Okay, so first of all we'll talk about that how to identify duplicate records from a table. So we made a mistake and we allowed to insert duplicate values in our table. Okay, and now we need to remove or update those values, update or remove those duplicate records from a database permanently. Okay, so sometimes duplicate records are positive, in which case we need not to remove those duplicate records, but in most of the cases it depends on the data and database design as well. Okay, so but in most of the cases where duplicate records are not required and our table size is very large, then these are going to create a problem at the time we are fetching records from a database, or at the time of multiple insert update as well. So first of all, if we talk about distinct keyword, so what distinct does, it will basically find the unique records from a table. But what happens in distinct approach, we can quickly get a unique rows from a table. However, distinct does not show how many times that particular row has been duplicated. Okay, so in that case we have to use group by approach. So using group by approach we can identify that how many records are there and what are the occurrences of these records. Okay, so distinct will get the unique records from a table, so that is just for displaying purpose and will not be showing row occurrences. Okay, so in this case we'll be using group by. So we'll first need to identify that there could be a primary key and there could not be a primary key. So in that case we need to use a combination of the columns which is unique for that particular record. Okay, so using group by we will identify that what if we have a primary key, then that is good. We'll just group by that primary key and we'll identify that how many records are duplicated in that particular table. If we do not have any primary key, then we need to use a combination of keys. So combination of columns will become my group, and then using that group by clause we can identify that how many times that particular group is repeated in that table. Okay, so this will help to identify that how many times that particular group or that particular row is repeated in that table. So let's check this how this group by clause is going to help going to get the duplicate records from a table. So I have created a table called dup test. It's duplicate test. So let me just show you that what data we have in this table. So as you can see, let me just sort this by ID column. So in this case, I know that my ID column is going to be a unique. It's a primary key for this table. So it will be a primary key for this table. So it will not be repeated. Okay, so wherever we'll see that there are multiple IDs inserted into this table, we need to remove them. We need to keep only one record. That will be the latest record inserted into this table. Okay, so let's just execute this query where I've ordered by ID. So as you can see that we have duplicate records, two duplicate records for 101 ID and 2 for 102, and for 103, 104, and so on. So we have to keep a single record for a single ID. So that means, so whatever the output will get using distinct keyword, that is our purpose. So we need to get that output from this table. So we need to permanently remove those duplicate records from a table. So let's just try to execute distinct. So that will be our final output, which we'll get using group by. So that will be after removing those duplicates, but in this session we are just talking about that how to get that how many times that particular row is repeated. Okay, so distinct id comma name comma salary from dup test. So this is going to give me unique records. Now to see how many times this particular id is repeated in this table, we'll be using group by. So let's just, so I'll be doing select id column and total number of records. So that will be we'll be using count asterisk here. So that will become occurrences of this particular id in this table. From dup test, and as we need to have a unique id columns, so I'll group it by id. What will happen when I execute this query? So this is going to group my result by id column, and then it will be giving me the total count for that particular id in this table. So for 101, as we saw that we have, for 101 we have two records, for 102 we have two records. So in the similar way, it is going to give me the total number of records for each id. So as you can see, for 102 we have two records, 101 we have two records. Okay, in the similar way 105 is having four occurrences. So we'll mainly be focusing on wherever the occurrences are greater than 1. So as you can see, for 106 we have the occurrences value as 1. That means this is a valid record. This is the good record. For 103 we have two records. That means we have to remove one record from this table corresponding to ID 103. For 105 we are having four records. Those are duplicated. So for this we need to remove three records from the database permanently, and we'll keep only one record, the latest record that we have for 105. Similarly for 104 and 101 and 102 as well. So we can just filter it out having count asterisk is greater than 1. So wherever it is greater than 1, that we'll mainly be focusing on those ID columns. Okay, so that the record 106 was having only one record, so that is excluded from my list now. So these are the this is the list I'll be focusing on removing duplicate records corresponding to those ID, and we'll be keeping only single record. Okay, so this is one of the simplest way to identify the how many times my row is repeated in a table. Okay, so in our next session we will be going to talk about that how to remove those records from a table, how to remove those duplicate records from a table. Okay, so thanks for watching my video, and like, share and subscribe to my channel to get more updates.